All right, folks, sorry, technical difficulty in Anna World because anything that's electronic and needs help. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Sorry, it's a little bit late. It did take me a few minutes to figure out how to do this. You all know I'm not good at these things. But this is basically just a basic get to know us, know about our company, and feel free to ask questions and stuff. People that are texting me, I don't know if I'm going to be able to read your text while I'm trying to do this, but we'll do our best. Okay, so basically, y'all know my name is Anna Hawk, and I'm the CEO and founder of Instant Barter and the developer of My Barter Game. It is the company has exploded in the last few weeks, and we're really, really, really excited about what's going on with the recognition that the companies are finally getting. The company, Instant Barter, is now 3 years old. We're in 11 countries with over $400 million worth of products and services and growing. We're considered the fastest growing, most progressive, most proactive barter organization in the world. I've won major awards. I laugh at them, but I have won major awards. I've been named a global leader in my industry, the #8 entrepreneur over 40 in the United States, and also that was last year. And then also I was named as one of the most admired business leaders by the Phoenix Business Journal. Now that was pretty big because the company was only 2 years old at that point, and being put in the company with the same companies as GoDaddy, Fry's, Arizona Republic, Thunderbird School of Global Management, companies that were well over 10 years old. Being honored like that, it was very, very humbling and just huge for the company. So basically, what we do is we like to teach people a little bit about business and how we help business grow. And we basically, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, we laugh about this, but if you look at my LinkedIn profile, I have hundreds of recommendations for marketing and business growth and business development, and I'm up to, which is kind of funny because I'm up to 25 for barter. And barter is just the tool that I use. Brief backstory on me. Sorry, people are texting me and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Anyway, so my basic story, I started my first company when I was roughly about 17 years old. I didn't have any money at 17 to start a company, but I went ahead and started a company anyway because I got tired of people stealing my ideas and not paying me for it. And quite honestly, it kind of pissed me off, so I went ahead and started a company. So I started a company. It was very successful, but I used barter to do it because I didn't have any money at 17 to start a company. And over my term of running businesses, I've started many successful companies. I started a company I started a company that I had in 1999. I started it before 1999. I think it was like 5 years old then. But anyways, I had built barter into that as well. And my kids had horseback riding lessons, art, soccer, homeschooling. We went out to eat all the time, massage, chiropractic, acupuncture, housekeeping, landscaping. That was all trade. Plus, we had a $500,000 liquid paper currency in the business. So you could imagine my lifestyle. My children were 3 and 5 years old. So, however, in 1999, we had to do a domestic violence name change. Now, most people don't know what that is, and that's good, but what that means is basically I had to change my identity to keep myself and my children safe. It wasn't just one abuser, there were several. I was illegally adopted as a child. We actually found this out when we did the name change, and we found out that I was Native American. So that complicated the issues because now I no longer had enough ID to get a library card, so I couldn't work, and I couldn't get food stamps. And I had a 4 and 6-year-old in tow who, darn them, they still wanted to eat. So we had to actually live off of my knowledge of trade for 2 years while we were fighting the system to exist. And a lot of those laws are still not written. You know, a lot of people that actually know me, they know I do own a nonprofit, and we work with domestic violence and troubled teens and the elderly and the broken people. And basically, my real father's mindset is grass is a weed if it's in the wrong spot. So if you start your life and start thinking of that way, first off, that everything is currency. The true definition of currency is something that you and I agree has value and we trade. And so trade's in the definition of currency. Trade actually started civilization and it started capitalism, both. So it's a solvent economy. It's backed by goods and services. It's just misconstrued. I can't even speak today. Misconstrued and very confusing to some people. Now, the rich and the poor, they get barter. They do it all the time. And the young and the old, they also barter quite frequently, especially the young. The young know barter because they do it all the time. And I have to excuse me because I just picked up a cough about 10 minutes ago. So, anyway, so the young, and this is, I hate this example, but somebody told me I should start using this example more readily. When you were a kid and you were in school, your parents were good parents and they sent you healthy lunches, so they sent you with an apple. And you wanted the piece of pizza. Well, you know that you can't trade the apple for the piece of pizza. That's just never going to happen. So what we have is we have a barter organization so that it makes it so that you can list the apple in our classifieds and basically get somebody to buy the apple to give you the currency to buy the piece of pizza. It eliminates all of that middle time. So in a traditional barter, what most people are used to is direct barter of I have what you need and you have what I need and we trade. This is not that. That's not what we have here. We have a much more comprehensive system. But with that system, with the apple wanting the piece of pizza, you're going to be running around the lunchroom making all those deals and side deals, and finally you end up with the pudding cup, and the pudding cup you can now trade for the piece of pizza. However, the pizza might be cold, it might be gone, or lunch might be over. And in those cases, I mean, now you've done all this work and you have nothing. So what we've done is we're not the first ones to do this. Barter organizations have actually been around since the 60s. So, but what we do differently is we have a very extensive classified system, and we have trade directors in the company that help you find the things that you're looking for. So you basically simply list your items. We don't care what you trade, we care that you trade. So you list the stuff that you have in excess, your weeds, in the network, and that could be clothing, that could be mannequins that you maybe have in a storage, that could be excess inventory, especially excess expiring inventory. It could be future income. I was talking to a business today that's a startup, and they are trying to get their website built and their social media and their advertising that they need, but they haven't opened their doors yet. Now what we can do with Instant Barter is we can buy some gift certificates from them, and that gives them the currency in their account right now to do the things that they need. So that way they have that currency to build their website and do their advertising and their social media, to be able to utilize that for building their business and getting things going. So that's one way that we help businesses grow with no currency. Another thing that we do is we market you, and we're doing an event. We're doing events all the time. I get lost, but we're doing an event here locally in Phoenix on the 28th, and it's a cross-promotional event. So we have one of our chiropractors is doing an open house, and she has many like-minded businesses around her. Like, for instance, she's got yoga studios and massage therapists and other doctors and things of that in like her complex. So what we're doing is we're opening up to some of our database, and anybody that wants to be there, really, because everything's currency to us. You can pay us with anything you want. So you can rent a space, a booth space, at this open house, and it's going to be like a block party to basically let like-minded businesses know that there's other businesses around that are doing something similar. Because everybody wants to work with who they know, like, and trust, but everybody's looking for the bonus of the referral. And that's not the way business used to be done. Business was, I'll do something for you, you'll do something for me later, and that was all good. But now everybody's like, okay, well, I'll refer to you if you give me some kind of a cash kickback. And that's not the way business is meant to be. Not in my opinion, anyway. So the other thing that we teach people is, back in the 70s, this is weird with me just talking to a whole bunch of people, but anyways, and the heyday of business back in the 70s and 80s, where everything was bonus, people got cars and country clubs and golf resorts and travel and all kinds of things just for doing a good job in their business. What nobody really realizes is that was all trade. So it really doesn't matter what the economy is doing. You can have that lifestyle now. And we're constantly teaching people to be proactive in their life and their business. You know, I've had some pretty serious surgeries. You know, I've had a very interesting, very colorful life. And I've had some pretty severe surgeries, but I can continue working because I have massage and chiropractic and acupuncture on a regular basis. I get my teeth cleaned, and I'm proactive with my dentist and vision, and you name it, we do it. So I can spoil my people, because the company Instacart is still technically a startup, even though we're 3 years old, in 11 countries with over $400 million worth of products and services and growing. But my people, I can't really afford to give them bonus yet in paper currency, but I can give them bonuses in trade dollars. And that makes them happy because, like, you know, one of my girls, they're not all girls, but one of my girls, she spoils herself. She goes and gets manicures and pedicures and gets her hair cut, and you know, she buys herself these amazing treats from one of our catering companies, and you know, she can do that, and it just makes business fun when you can spoil yourself. Or, you know, like when my son came to visit me a few years ago. We hadn't spoken in years, and when he came to visit me, I was, you know, texting him because he's a teenager, he's a texter. He's 22 now, but he's a texter. Anyway, so he was texting me of, I don't really need to be picked up at the airport in the limo. And I went, this isn't for you, this is for me. And he's like, well, aren't you spoiled? And I went, yes, I am, but you don't understand. I'm a small town girl. I live in Phoenix. And going to the airport for me is terrifying. I don't like to go to the malls by myself because I get lost. And I usually try to take somebody with me so that that doesn't happen. But I was excited to see him, and I was worried if I had to spend time in finding a parking space. And if anybody's been to Phoenix Airport, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's really a large place. It's easy to get lost, especially for me. So I'm having the town car take us, because that way I don't have to worry about driving. I don't have to worry about parking. And my son gets off the airplane and comes up the alley and stuff, and you know, we give each other a hug. And my town car guy, his name was Bob. We have several, but his name was Bob. And Bob takes my son's bag from him and says, Mr. Hawk, can I take your claim? And my son's 21 at this time. And he takes his claim check to go over and get his bag, and walks out the door, and he opens the door for my son, and he hands him a bottle of water, and he says, welcome to Phoenix, Arizona. He says the time and the temperature is blah, blah, blah. Opens the car door for him and sets my son in the car. He's carrying his bag. Bob's carrying my son's bags, and he puts him in the rig for him in the trunk. And I kind of look over at Bob, and Bob doesn't open the door for me because Bob knows me. And so I get in the car, and I'm sitting next to my son, and my son is now texting all of his friends of, oh my God, I'm picked up at the airport in a Mercedes. You know, it just set the tone for the whole, I think he was here for 3 days that time, but it set the tone for what we were trying to do. We were trying to reconnect. I wanted to make it special for him, and I wanted him to be very, very spoiled, and he felt very spoiled when he was here. We had a world-renowned French chef, who was actually a French chef for Muhammad Ali, cater a private dinner for him and myself and a few very, very close friends. We had an event with all of my members could come and meet my son, because eventually this company will be owned by my children, probably. And you know, that made that very special for everybody to come. And we had like a personal shopper to take him shopping, and you know, a bunch of other things that we did. It was kind of a whirlwind 3 days he was here, but it was a lot of fun. And like I said, it set the tone. I was able to do that. I'm able to do things like, it's Monday. I call them Monday presents. And we used to have it in the kennel, because the kennel that I had, the $500,000 business, was actually a kennel. And in the kennel, Mondays were our days off. So Mondays became Monday present day. And you know, the kids were small, so they didn't know. But a Monday present is just simply of, I can give you something just because. Now that's pretty powerful for the people around you, or your employees, or your friends, or whatever. when you can live your life that way, where you can just because give somebody something. You know, I had a client that was talking about, and he's actually a public speaker, and I won't mention names because he may be on the call, but he was talking about that he was needing to have his teeth whitened, and he was headed out of town, and he had the trays, and he was talking to our dentist about, I don't know if I can get in there in time. Well, I had an extra one of the whitening tubes, so I just gave it to him. You know, it was, here you go, it's a Monday present. I don't expect anything from it. You need it. I have an extra one. Here you go. Or, you know, like being able to give somebody in their account. You know, you can't do this with banks. You can't go to the bank and throw. Oh my gosh, we'll go into that story in a second. But you can't go to the bank and just put $100 into somebody's account because you probably don't have it. But with my son, he has an account with us, so frequently I'll just throw an extra $1,000 in his bank account with us, and then he can use that trade to get his hair cut or get a massage or get his car worked on or whatever that is for him. And he started to use it, and then started to see it did have value. Now the opposite end of that is I was actually at his bank back when he was with a bank that we won't mention banks' names, but he was with this one bank, and I frequently go to the different banks and put paper currency in people's accounts. They'll text me their bank accounts, and the banks got a kick out of it for a while because they were like, I want to be your friend. And so I was at my son's bank, and I opened up my wallet, and I have a photographic memory, I've just recently learned. So I opened up my wallet, and I found a $100 bill in there. And I was like, okay, where did that come from? I don't remember where it came from. I don't remember who gave it to me. So for me, it was excess. So I happened to be at my son's bank, and I was like, well, this is weeds to me. So I threw it in my son's bank account, and he was pretty happy about that. So because right at that point, he didn't have a lot of money. So it was nice to be able to do that. And that's one of the things that trade allows you to do. Now, my brain works really fast, and it doesn't think linear at all. So if you're expecting linear training and this call, you're on the wrong call. But one of the things I just thought of was I was at a bank recently. Like I said, I frequently will go and throw money in people's bank accounts. And I had a client that was in San Diego, caught in the San Diego fires. And they needed some paper currency in order to get gas to get the heck out of there. So I was like, okay, no problem. Send me your bank account. I'll run down there. You can pay me back whenever. Well, it was Chase Bank. And this scares the ever-living snot out of me. It tells us where we are in the decline of the paper currency. But I went to Chase Bank, and I went to the ATM outside of Chase Bank and took out paper currency out of the ATM. Walked into the bank, and there wasn't a lot of people there, so they actually saw me get the money out of the ATM and walk into the bank. It wasn't like I was bringing something somewhere else. And I walked in, and I handed them my phone and said, I need to put money in this bank account. And they said, we're sorry, we don't take that. And I went, excuse me? You don't take paper currency? And they said, no, you can't put money in this bank account. Your name's not on it. And I said, okay, but you saw me go to the ATM out there and take the money out of your ATM, and this is your kind of currency, because, you know, I own a barter organization and I use a different kind of currency, but this is your currency. And you watched me walk in. Yes, we did. And I said, and you don't accept your own currency that I took out of your ATM? No, ma'am, we don't. Okay, so how can I help this person that's stranded in this San Diego fires that needs this currency in order to relocate? They said, well, you can go buy a money order and put the money order in their bank account. And I said, that'll credit them right away. And they said, yes. And I said, okay, well, can I buy a money order with this paper currency? And they said, no, ma'am, you can't. And I went, wow, really? Okay. So I said, so what do I do? And they said, well, you can go somewhere else and buy a money order and then bring it back here and put it in their account. And I was just shaking my head. And I texted my client and I said, do you have a different bank that we could use? And I didn't tell him the whole story until later, but that just scares me, that the banks are no longer accepting paper currency. Now they're giving us something about terrorism and all this other stuff, but it wasn't enough money to flag as terrorist activity. It was like $200 or something like that. It shouldn't have been that type of a thing. So that's you know, I study the paper system. I study the economy. You know, most people that know me, they know that this is not a small statement. It's actually a very true, factual statement. When I had the vision for Instant Barter, I went to the people that I was working with to help me come up with the structure of the company and make sure that the structure was sound. And I was all excited. I was like, oh, I've got this. I've got this. Guess what? I can fix everything. And they're like, yeah, but you got to stay away from the government programs. And I'm like, but I'm so excited about this. I mean, I can fix food stamps, and doctors and the hospitals can be paid right at the time, and you know, we can get teachers and firefighters and police officers paid correctly, and you know, all this stuff. And they're like, okay, you're really excited, so go ahead and tell us, but you have to stay away from the government programs. And I said, okay. So I started telling them of my ideas of how we can actually do this, and I can fix the entire global economy in 48 hours with barter. I know that's one of those statements that people go, well, how could you possibly do that? But I have programs for everything. I have written programs into this company from the very beginning, and I do have programs for everything. For instance, what if you could take more trade because you could pay your power bill with barter? Now that's kind of a big one, but we've been watching, and as soon as solar deregulates, then APS is going to have an abundance of excess expiring inventory is what it amounts to, and we can buy those credits up, and then if you have APS power, which is, we have kind of like 2 here in Arizona, so once, and we'll do it in other areas as well, but if you have APS power, you'll be able to buy those credits with trade dollars. We are in the process right now of launching a car program where you can purchase cars with trade dollars, and our mindset is that if you're always able to spend your trade, you're always wanting to take more. So that's one of the drastic things different about Instant Barter. We, you know, the people that know me, especially the people that work with me, they hear me say these things all the time, but these are all true. And a lot of these are on our website. But there's 1,066 barter organizations in the world. There's probably more than that now, but the last time I checked, that was how many there were. And Instant Barter is the only one set up like it is. Not only are we a global entity, and we're the only global entity in the U.S., we are not the franchise model. We're not the commission structure. Our people are paid differently than the other trade organizations. The other trade organizations, they'll pay their people with commission, and that's one of the reasons they have to have the high enrollment fee. The high transaction fee is that's somebody's salary. That's their commission of how they get paid. The way this company is set up is all our people work together. We're not the franchise model. And in my opinion, the reason I built those out of this organization is they don't work in trade. They don't work in a lot of things, but they definitely don't work in trade. So in the franchise model, especially in trade, what happens is trade broker A, say here in Phoenix, doesn't want to work with trade broker B, say in Vegas, because they're thinking of how much commission they're going to get made, and they're going to make less if they work with the person that's splitting the commission with them than if they get both sides of the piece. They get a piece of both sides of the transaction fee. So what they try to do is, well, we don't have that. Well, you still want that. So our mindset is, let's go get it for you. So this one being different, instead of trade broker A and trade broker B arguing over their salary and not really caring what the heck you wanted, my people are paid differently. So my people are talking about, oh, you know what, they really like this, and oh, do you think they'd like this? And we could try and give them this, and they're giving you more than what you possibly thought of that you might want. And again, the mindset is that if we always give you things to spend your trade on, you're going to want to take more trade because you're going to see how it's helping you have a better lifestyle and have more things that you can do. And we teach classes on barter all the time. You know, I built the game. I built my barter game, and that's to teach the masses how to trade, how simple trade is. Like I said, the rich and the poor and the young all understand barter. It's the middle class that we have to re-educate, that it's a different currency, that it is currency. It is a valid currency. It's not a made-up money. And I won't get into the whole Bitcoin thing of being made-up money, but it kind of is. And if you study it like I do, you'll see that it kind of is. And if you want to get a hold of me and we'll have that discussion, I'll be happy to. Barter is like I said, it's a very powerful tool if it's used correctly, and we like to believe that we know how to use it. So when you can buy properties or jewelry or cars or spoil your people, and I'll use the example of that guy. I love this example. So we teach people to become that guy. That guy in business is the person that everybody wants to work with, and everybody should be striving to be that guy. Now, how simple is it to be that guy when, and the example I like is you're the web designer, and on the anniversary, the 1-year anniversary that you launched the company's website, you send them, say, a bouquet of flowers, basket of flowers, and you used your trade to do it. Now, everybody that's walking by that desk, they're like, where'd you get the flowers from? Oh, you're not going to believe this. Our web designer, he remembered the anniversary of when he launched our website. Now, how simple is this for you as a business to set a reminder, a calendar or something reminder, or put it in your phone or whatever, to remind you to do this? But you've differentiated yourself in the market because now everybody's talking about your business that's walking by that desk. This is the way business used to be. I still do it all the time. So now you have put yourself back in front of the company that's already bought from you once, and they're like, you know what, we have this other project, we should have him look at that. So they're going to hire you again. Or anybody else that's like, wait a minute, I need somebody that cares that much about my stuff. I need somebody that cares that much about my website. And, you know, I need to hire that guy. Can I get his information? So it gives you cash referral business. It doesn't matter if you use trade dollars for the first one. It matters that, or it doesn't matter that you use trade to buy the basket of flowers. Now, even better, one of our people that we use, that we like, she has these amazing ceramic flowers. We did a wedding recently with them, and they last forever. So here we go, 6 weeks later, those people are walking by the desk, and they're like, didn't you get those like 6 weeks ago? From that web designer, right? So again, putting you back in front of the general public. And then they're like, oh yeah, these are ceramic flowers. I know they look real, but they're not. And then she gets, sorry, my hair is bothering me. Then she gets cash referral business. So it just gets you in front of other people. You know, we have a couple of really high-end speakers in this organization, and I won't mention names again. If you get me on a private call, I will mention names, but on this, I won't mention names. But one of our clients was trading. I almost said the name of his I almost said the name of his program that he was trading, but I don't want to do that. So he was trading one of his classes, and again, it was excess expiring inventory. He had extra seats. Most speakers do. So he had taken in a trade client to go to his LA event, and he got people from Canada who brought people from Guam to his LA event. That's business he would have never gotten otherwise. And very happily, he ended up, from the stage, as speakers know, he ended up giving them another package that actually was a cash package. So everybody was very happy because they got to see him, because he's a very well-known speaker, and he charges for his service. And a lot of people can't afford to take his first class. But once they get in the door, they're going to realize that he is worth every penny that he charges, so they're going to want to do other programs with him. We've helped launch many, many businesses, many, many programs where different people. We sponsor a lot of events. Instant Barter actually has an advertising budget of between $20,000 and $30,000 a month. Of course, we use trade for all of that. We pay for trade. We use our trade for everything that we possibly can. If you ever hear me promoting something for paper currency, you better jump on it, because I don't generally pay that for pretty much anything at all. I use trade for probably 95% of everything that I do. So I'm one of the very few people that understand it the way that I do, and that's because I lived off of it for 2 years. I know that everything is currency. Now, again, I started to say instant barter is a drastically different model. We accept all currencies. We accept other trade organizations' trade. We accept direct barters trade. That I have what you need and you have what I need, and we explain how that gets people into trouble because somebody gets trade heavy, somebody doesn't follow through, there's the unrealistic expectations. Even worse, there's the, I did you a favor, I don't know why you're upset. That's a horrible situation in business. Who ever wants somebody to do you a favor? Because doing you a favor means that they don't make it a priority. It's a priority to you. And, you know, you may be thinking, well, I'm paying you for this. You know, we're trading for this. So, you know, but that's not the way that their mindset works. And see, barter organizations keep everybody honest. Now, I'm going to get into a couple of frequently asked questions. One of the questions that we get asked all the time is, what about tax implications? Now, I am not a tax accountant. I have people for that. I have people for everything. But one of our, and I've asked a lot of tax people, and this is the way that it works. And there is actually 8 pages on the IRS's website that say that trade and cash are equal. Our mindset is, if they're equal, let's make them that easy to use. We want you to be able to spend trade on everything that you can spend paper currency on. And eventually, that's where we're going with this company. We're in negotiation right now with universities and colleges so that you'll be able to use your trade credits to pay for your kids to go to college, which is going to help everybody. The colleges and universities, they take trade, they just don't know it. And they don't know how to use it, which is really sad. And of course, as me, I understand it differently, so therefore I'm going to teach them how they should be using it and teach them how to use it better, and therefore they'll be able to take more. Hello? That's what we do. So, but the we take every trade currency, or we take, like for the TV show that we're filming, which will be live on YouTube. I think that's just going to be on YouTube. I don't think we're going to do Google Hangouts on that. I'm not sure. We might do some interviews over here. We're going to try and do these more often so that people can ask us questions and things of that. We'll get better at them as we go along, because I get the feeling that people are texting me and sending me questions, but I don't see them. So, but we will get better at this. But anyway, so what we want to do is make it, like I said, make everything so that you can use your trade just like your paper currency, and that's where we're going with this company. But who's texting me now? Stop texting me. And that's common in my world. I am usually on the phone, on the computer, typing emails, and texting at the same time. That's just kind of the world the way it is right now in the world of Anna. So anyway, so what we want you to do is, like I said, we want you to be able to use it for everything that you can. We teach classes on this. Now, the TV show, we hope to have that live by the end of the month, basically just showing you how to use the things that you have in excess to get the things that you need right now. And with our database of being in 11 countries, that's fairly easy to do. You're not going to find the AC guy that's going to take your tchotchkes that you've got excess in your garage to fix your AC. That's just not going to happen. It's like the apple and the piece of pizza. Not going to happen. But you could trade that stuff in the network, get the currency, and then you can hire the AC guy to fix your AC or work on your car or whatever that is, dental, vision, whatever. So, and that's what the TV show is going to show people. So with the TV show, we have sponsorship, advertising, featured businesses, spotlight businesses. Featured businesses are the businesses that we go into the business and we show you where your excess is and show you how to use that for the things that you need now. You get all the advertising on our TV show. Sponsorship, obviously, sponsorship, advertising, product placement. That's kind of a big one because I'm kind of in control right now until I sell it to the TV shows. Once I sell it to the TV shows, I'm not going to have as much control over that, but I'll take any kind of currency. If you want to pay me paper currency, if you want to give me direct barter of gift certificates, if you want to give me, Instant Barter's trade, another trade organization's trade. Remember, everything is currency to me. So, you can get a hold of us for that. We have the game available. It's My Barter Game. You can purchase that online. We have our courses are becoming credited business courses in the colleges, and hopefully in the fall, if I can get off my butt and actually film them. So there's a lot of things going on with this company, and we're growing at just rapid speed. We got approached by a company that is working with, they're building a charter school, which we have built into our nonprofit, but we're not there yet. So they want to teach the game and the curriculum in conjunction with what they're doing. They think that we're the missing piece of what they're doing. They're building credit unions. And when we can launch the credit union with the barter organization in conjunction, that gives people a really solid financial database, a really solid financial starting point. And we're educating. Oh gosh, I've got so many programs. It's impossible to tell you all of them because it would totally blow your mind. And that's one of the things that I do is I blow people's minds on a regular basis. If you get me on a one-on-one call, trust me, it will happen. And you can schedule those through either a broker, or you can fill out our contact form on our website, which is instantbarter.com. And when we get really good at this, that'll be across the bottom of the screen. But you can go onto our website, instantbarter.com, and fill out the contact us form and ask for a one-on-one where I specifically look at what you should trade, what you shouldn't trade, what your excess is, what your future income is, and figure out how to help your business grow very quickly. We had a client that joined 2 days ago. Yesterday, he had 3 new clients. We had a client join finally after talking to me for years, because we don't pressure you to join. There's no reason to. And dear friend of mine, and she joined, and then I think it was like within a week, we had her 5 trade clients, 7 cash clients, and the ability to speak in front of 2 groups. And that's what it does, because it gets people knowing that you're doing something that nobody knew she did. I didn't know she did it, and I'd known her for years. But she does this service, and I didn't know about it. And when she finally told me about it, and I mentioned it to a few people, all of a sudden she had business. And she's still got business. I mean, she's speaking and training on a regular basis. She's going to be one of the people that's at our event on the 28th. If you're in the Phoenix area and you want to come to our 28th event, by all means. We've got most of these things are put on our Facebook, which is obviously Instant Barter. You can always get a hold of me or whoever might have invited you to the call, or however you want to get a hold of us. We want to make these so that they're live, and you can watch them later and hopefully get some of your questions answered. And you can always send us questions and we'll answer them online. And then I think there's a way to do this. It's technology, so it's kind of not my best thing that I do. I have people for that. Thank you, people that help me with that. But I think that there's a way that if you get your question asked and I film it and answer it, I can email it to you or at least let you know that we've answered your question live so that you can hear us say it. Most of the things that I end up saying, because I get asked the same questions over and over again, I end up saying the same thing over and over again. But that's kind of typical in our world. But it's just about helping people grow their business, helping people have a more elaborate lifestyle, and just using the things that they already have. You don't have to go to the bank and get a loan. You don't have to do that. And most of us can't. Banks aren't really loaning paper currency, although we do have a guy that does that on trade. All the cash initiation fees are done with trade dollars. You get the paper currency from the bank itself. You pay the paper currency back, obviously, but the initiation fees and the setup fees and stuff like that is all trade. So we do have a company that does it. We have a company that repairs credit. We have companies that do pretty much anything you could possibly imagine. It's not just junk that people are trading. It's not less than. That mindset has to stop. It is, with us, 100% dollar for dollar, 100% barter. So if you charge $100 for your service in cash, you would take your service at $100 in barter. It's dollar for dollar. And we're not a blended exchange. There are blended exchanges out there. If you want to be a part of them, they're just a bank, we're just a bank. Go ahead and join them. You can be a member of as many banks as you want. It's just, different transaction fees, different banking fees, all that stuff. So take a look at those. We happen to be the lowest in the industry, but that's not what we're about. The reason that we're the lowest in the industry is because of the way the company's structured, the way my people are paid. We don't have to have the enrollment fee. We don't have to have the high transaction fee because we don't have to do that. We have our people paid differently. So when our fees are clearly posted on our website. So most barter organizations can't do that because it's kind of like, I don't know if you know this or not, but in the yellow pages, if I take out a yellow page ad and you take out a yellow page ad, that doesn't mean that we're going to pay the same because it's a commission. It's the commission of the person that's signing us up. What are they willing to take, and what are they able to take? So with when there's that commission structure built in, the companies can't tell you exactly how much things cost. With us, everybody pays exactly the same with this company. Everybody, including myself, and I have many, many accounts that I pay exactly the same. Even my nonprofit pays exactly the same. My son's account, my broker's account, my trade director's accounts, all of our people pay exactly the same. We all pay the 2.5% transaction fee. We all pay the $10 a month in cash and trade, and that's what we pay. So we're doing that differently. We put it clearly right there on our website for everybody to see because we can, because that's not anybody's commission. Everybody pays exactly the same. So the other thing is we've even taken a snapshot of our software so that you can kind of see some of what we have available. It is a membership site, so you can't just like blatantly go in there and do everything. But we have a picture of about 200 million of the 400 million in products and services that we have available on our website. So we can show you some of the things we're going to take down the page that said, here's some of the suggestions of what we suggest you pay for, or what you spend your trade on. We're going to take that page down. But we're doing a lot of work to our own website and getting more of that going. We recently hired a PR social media company that helps us. We have a lot of things that we have going on in this company, but it's all about just everybody working together. We believe in cross-promotion, we believe in cooperation, and we believe in word-of-mouth advertising. Word-of-mouth is the strongest advertising that you've got, especially when you can differentiate yourself as that guy, the guy that cares enough, and I don't care what it is that you do. We have a real estate agent that has joined who isn't trading real estate, but he's trading other things, and we've even given him a referral for one of our clients that was looking to sell her house because we know them both, and why not hook them up, So anyway, so basically, just to recap, because I want to be really, really honoring everybody's time. I appreciate everybody taking the time to be on this call. Like I said, I'll get better at them, and we'll have more questions being able to be answered. This is kind of like a preliminary, just kind of get to know the company type of a situation, give you a few ideas. We'll be happy to set up one-on-one calls with you. No pressure, because there's no reason to pressure you. You're going to get it or you're not going to get it. And, it's kind of it's awful to say, but we don't really care, because eventually you're going to understand it. You're going to understand that barter is currency. And eventually, we're going to spend that kind of time with you. You can get a hold of the brokers. You can get a hold of the trade directors. You can get a hold of anybody that invited you to listen to this call. You can get a hold of us directly, whatever works. But our main mindset is helping people get on their feet, helping them build their business, find their passion, because when you find your passion, you never work again, and that's why I can work the hours that I work. And if you know me, I've already put in probably 60 hours so far this week, and if you're looking at this later on in the week, today is Friday, thank goodness, but I worked a 16-hour day on Monday because I can, because I do love what I do, and I don't find it to be work. It's not really draining, although being Friday, it is getting a little exhausting. So, but just feel free to get a hold of us. Like I said, the main site is instantbarter.com. We are here to help business grow. We're here to help people get on their feet and become financially solvent. It's just a bank account. So if it doesn't work, we're basically not doing our job. We are a trade director-driven company, and a trade director actively contacts you on a regular basis to help you find things to spend your trade on. Remember, like I said, we're of the mindset if we can always give you things to spend your trade on, you're always going to be apt to take more trade. So and you know, we're here to help you. You know, we want you to have. I mean, when you can have your passion and still get paid for it, and if you take a little bit of trade, it's just currency. So what difference does it make? If we teach you how to cash convert it, if we teach you that, you know, you're not only going to take Visa and not MasterCard in your business, that just doesn't make sense. And when you block yourself off to not taking all currencies, that's the same thing. It's exactly the same. So if you can spend it on the things that you need, want, or desire, and you can spoil your people, you know, give them bonuses, they're going to be much happier people. You're going to end up with not the turnover, especially restaurants. Oh my gosh. If you can help your people, like your waitresses. I waitressed for a long time. I know that it would have been great if my boss had just said, here's a gift certificate, go get a massage. Hello? I mean, that would have been awesome. Because I couldn't get a massage because I didn't have the money for it. But they could have done that with trade, you know, that gets people in the door. It's using the excess expiring inventory, the seats that are empty, which is the most expensive thing in a hotel or a restaurant. Now you have your people being happier. You can have the massage, acupuncture, chiropractic. You can do dental and vision for your people. And now you have a very, very happy staff that you're not going to have the turnover. And as a boss, that is expensive. Training people is very expensive. Having that high turnover is very expensive. But if you can treat your people well, and you can use your trade to do it, that's really, really simple. Or mechanical. Hello, get their oil changed in their car so that they can get to work on time. It's a no-brainer. So anyway, and like I said, I do understand it different. I use it all the time. So we're here to help. We're here to support. We're here to you know, whatever that takes for you in your world, we're here to help you. You can go to, like I said, go to our website, fill out the form, ask us to do a one-on-one call or whatever, no pressure. And I do want to be respectful, and I want to end this call on time, which according to my thing, I'm like 5 minutes. So like I said, our website is instantbarter.com. That's www.instantbarter.com. You can get a hold of us there. There's a contact form to fill out, and we're not going to pressure you because we're just not going to do that. We just don't do it. So we're just here to help businesses grow, and barter's just the tool that we use to do it. So anyway, so that's the end of this one, and I'll get better at it. I will, and we will see you next time then.